to just edit it. Oh, hi guys, how are you? So I just thought I'd bring you back. As I was saying, there's not much I can really show you because obviously it's like reverse process, but I thought I'd give you an update regardless, whether you choose to watch it. So as you can see, we are getting to a point now where we just about, well, other than falling to death over all my bits, obviously the head bearing's now in. We got that in the other day. The wheel, the shocks, they probably will look funny. The knots, it's just mocked. They're not there, they're not bolted, they're just to hold the front end up. So what I am doing today is, obviously the original 12 volt socket on these, it's not the best. Many moons ago I bought a quick charger 3, because obviously like all phones, like the one you're looking at me on, they all like super fast charging and all that. Well, obviously the stock thing doesn't provide such. So we're installing this. However, the diameter of that hole is a little bit just where these threads are. So I'm just filing it out, and hopefully we can get it fitted in. But yeah, so I'm hoping these next couple of weeks I'll see it done. I really am. I mean, I'm hoping I'm going to get to a point where, well, I have decided I am going to vinyl wrap the bike. What colour, I haven't got a clue. It's so close there. It literally is just binding on the threads. But yeah, so I am going to vinyl wrap the bike. Don't know what colour at the moment. But yeah, what I'm hoping to do in the next few weeks is get it all back together, get all the brakes on, and just before it's fully panelled, I want to take it out, just have a little test ride on it, just to see what's what, and just to see if there's any little niggles and stuff like that. Head bearing, this is the first time me doing it. Yeah, I'm a little bit, you know, when I finally take this bike out, you know, and do 30, 40, 50, 60 mile an hour, because it's always a little bit daunting, I suppose, first time you do things like anything really, is, you know, at higher speeds, am I going to make sure I've done it right, the wheels are level, the bearing's done right, you know, am I going to get what they know as death wobble in it, stuff like that. So, we'll wait and find out with that one. I hope not. I hope I can. End of the day, I've followed the service manual, so hopefully it'll be done right. But yeah, hopefully what you can see there, as you can see, you know, obviously the footboards are in. This is, it's in, it's on, it's not fully, because obviously, as I was saying with the vinyl wrapping, what I want to actually do is, I don't like white. I'm not a person for white. Whether I'm going to, I'll show you in a minute. Let me just find them. No, I don't. What I might do, I know it doesn't make any difference, I suppose, it's, you know, if you're vinyl wrapping it regardless. Those. I do prefer that colour. Where does it go? Be alright, oh, it's not too bad that. It'd be alright if you could keep bolting stuff on like that, wouldn't you? Look at that. Make it look extra wide. But yeah, so obviously what I'm going to do is obviously take the panels off, vinyl wrap them. Obviously what I'll do is clean them up. This actually looks like it's been painted, just the way that badge is. But yeah, what I'm going to do obviously is I'll take them back home, clean them up, give them a good clean, full degrease, get a heat gun, I have got a heat gun somewhere, remove this Forza badge, whether it be this panel or that, and then basically obviously apply the vinyl wrap, whatever colour I'm going to do, you know, heat it up, squeegee it, and hopefully get it to a point where, you know, get it wrapped around these bits. You know, it's not too critical, I suppose, here, because that here you've got, obviously got the panels interlocking, so you're not going to see that. But I can't make my mind up for colour. I have been tempted with a green, but I don't know where it is. I don't know, it's my biker brain. Green to me shouts Kawasaki. It's a Honda, isn't it? You know, even iridescent ones, you know, that sparkle in the light. The problem is, I'm not a over lavish type of guy. I'm not the type of, you could probably see, it's probably portrayed on the video, I'm not one of these, you know, fucking overreactive type of people, if that makes sense. So I'm not one of them for great leery colours, but at the same yardstick, I do want it to look different. You know, and talking of panels, we haven't even got two sides at the minute, and that's another one. I've looked at ones I've tried to repair, not possible. Now they've got broken catches, or they're just at a point where if you put vinyl wrap onto them, you'll just tear the vinyl wrap because of the broken plastic, no matter what I try to do with it. Or it'd just look imperfect, if that makes sense, because even if I could try and plastic weld it and put you know, like melted cable ties in and sand it down, I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, and that's the problem. So I decided, you know what, bin them. Now Honda, 129 and 134 pound respectively for each side. So yeah, it's a tough one at the minute, because the ones out there, like on eBay, typical background noise again, you know, the same condition, you know, because obviously the bike's either been written off, so it's either gone down on its side, whether left or right, whatever. We finished. So yeah, it's, you know, trying to find ones cheap second hand is not ideal. Spending, I think it was £264 on two brand new panels, and they don't become any cheaper even if you opt for them in white. Because I'm vinyl wrapping it, I don't know, it just seems a lot of money. Considering it's a 2017, what is it, 5-6 year old bike now, you know, everything on it is second hand. I mean, I'm trying to think, other than tools, yeah, I mean, I've not really bought anything really. I'm just trying to look at what I've, now, it's been mainly tools that's been the biggest killer trying to rebuild this bike, is the lack of tools I've physically got. So yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know what to do. You know, I had in my head at the time, well, if I've not got the front on, sort of thing, I thought to myself, why not look at the 2018 onwards of the facelift model, see if I could just sort of put them panels, the front end, into it. But that's not an easy job in itself, because as much as you think, well, maybe okay, I'll change this headlight bracket to accept these new panels, mirrors, whatever. The problem is, as it's integrated back, it all changes. So obviously this is up at the minute, but I mean, when it's obviously down, I mean, the whole shroud is different. Everything on the 18 and up models is different. I think the frame's the same, but as I was trying to say, if I wanted to just say, well, okay, I just want the 2018 front, don't know how I'd do it, integrating 2017 clocks. But like what I was trying to say is, this bit's all different. You know, the leg shroud's different. This is different. All that's different. So it ends up not being a front end. It ends up being an entire swap. And the problem is, they're not cheap. Yes, I probably said in a video, this panel, the leg panel from Honda, even the later model, is only 40 quid. That's not too bad, but it gets expensive, doesn't it? Because each side panel, I think the later ones are 160 quid approximately, pounds at the time filming this. You know, and it gets expensive. And like the other day, I didn't realise, but I own a 2017, so I'm not going to know. This glove compartment, it locks on the steering lock on the later models. It doesn't on this. It must have just been one of these where Honda built this bike at the time, thought it was great. You know, obviously the 2017 was the introduction of the keyless, which is nice, and which this has got, but it just doesn't have the nicer bits later on, like you know, your locking glove compartment when you turn the steering lock. It don't have electric screen. Obviously this is manual. There is slight drawbacks to it. I mean, I think personally the later models, I think they're all built well because they're Hondas, don't get me wrong. I just think reliability, pre-COVID times, they're a little bit thingy. I think with the supply and demand, things for later, I think sometimes, because I'm not saying all bikes are like it, but I am noticing slight issues with the newer ones, even though they are nice. I'm not going to lie. You know, the 2018 and up bikes, they are nice. And personally, I would like one. Whether I just save a bit of money later on, rather than trying to make basically a silk per set or a Sauzia type of thing. Because, I mean, well, even new, I'm trying to think, what would it be? 1,000 quid for 4 panels from Honda for a later model bike to do it up? You know, and then the problem is you've got the clocks. And the thing is, I'm not going to profess to know everything. You know, the whole thing is, I think obviously the engine's different, because on the later models you've got oil pressure warning. Can you just fuck off, you women? So yeah, you've obviously got later models that have got oil pressure warning. I think all the ECU is different. It's just a whole different bike, you know. And yeah, it pains me a little bit. You know, I do like the 17. I do think they are nice, but they are getting dated. I'm not going to lie. You know, 5 years is a long time in technology. And if you're the person that's obviously got a later model, just bear with. You know, you're not going to, you know what your dials look like on the newer Forzas. You know, that does look old. I'm not going to lie, and I really do like the new dials. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but I've thought of all sorts really. You know, I thought to myself, oh well, could I get a modern set of dials? They're probably not even the right size. You know, sort of lift this cover off and then replace with the modern, cards. You know, I've got to admit, I am fooling myself a bit, to be honest, with that. That's probably how much I probably want a later model, even though I am obviously doing a video rebuilding the 2017. But it is what it is. The whole matter of the fact is, regardless of how it looks, it'll get me from A to B, and really, that's all that should really matter, really, shouldn't it? But yeah, so I think I'll leave it here without obviously trying to drag it on too long. I just wanted to bring you back, just to obviously give you a bit of a chat, show you exactly where we are now. Hopefully in the next video. In the next video I would probably say it'd be complete, not complete as in complete, but like brake levers on, maybe some of the front on a bit more, and then after that, because the biggest one, as I've said, is I can't even make my mind up what colour I want to wrap this bike, because it's got to be wrapped, simply because it's going to be mispanelled, you know, and it's going to look at sounds here, you know what I mean. Even if I have to, if I didn't vinyl wrap it, it's going to be white. Could be white if I bought them new, but I don't like white. It's, you know, the 17 is good as I say it is. You know, to me white makes it really poverty spec, I think personally. So yeah, but anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. We will progress a bit further. It's just so long-winded. As I say, if you're ever looking at wanting to rebuild your Honda Forza 2017, from my advice that I would give you, think ahead. You know, as I've said before, bag stuff. Make sure you've got tools. Because it has cost me several hundreds of pounds in tools and whatnot to get it to this point. It is a bit long drawn, and when you're working 40-hour weeks, sometimes, you know, to come down here and start on it, that's hard. So yeah, rebuilding a bike, it's not a 5-minute job. It's not. It's a good learning curve. Would I do it again? Maybe. It's not that it's beyond, I would say, my skill set of doing such. It's fiddly as hell, really fiddly as hell. Especially a scooter, there's a lot of plastics to it. But yeah, I mean, I would probably do it again. Don't know whether I'd want a frame swap, maybe some cosmetic stuff. But I suppose the one thing I can take away from this is you get to learn and understand how your bike is put together, you know, rather than, well, Honda know what they've put together, if that makes sense. So yeah, I can definitely say, obviously, from front to back, side to side, bolt to bolt, screw to screw, I do know how one goes together now, you know. There's not a lot to them, but they are very fiddly. So if you have that opportunity in your life to want to rebuild one, think, is it worth it? You know, if financially it's tight, but it's cheaper over a period of time to do it, then, like, I suppose like myself, going to Honda and say, there you go, there's £5.5 for another bike, do it. You know, it's just one of these where you just sort of have to play the catch-up game a little bit, you know, whilst others do other things, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm rambling, and I suppose this one is a bit of a rambly video, so I do apologise, but as I was saying, I just wanted part of my series, whether you choose to watch it all the way through, regardless, is just add this part of the series. So not just show you about rebuilding, how something goes together and whatnot, but also a personal encounter of what it's like, you know, the whole mental thing behind doing something like this. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure this bike is a whole lot easier than stripping a gold wing, things like that, you know, the amount of electronics on them these days, Christ, I don't imagine. But yeah, so again, third time I'll try and end this video. Thank you very much. I'll see you again. Hopefully it's a little bit more complete, and when she is, we'll take her for a spin, see what she's like, then hopefully I'll try and think of something, what colour I'm going to do, and take it from there. Okay guys and gals, thank you very much for watching. If you chose to watch this long, I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers.